Welcome, Cup 222, Mazecast. I don't have my delay pedal, so that's as good as it's going to get. I'm here with Beals and Aria, aka Sarah and Andrew, and we're looking at Maze. Take it away, Sarah.
Ah, okay. All right. So the main topic of conversation today is going to be to discuss recent developments on the Abyss regarding the guide path.
Oh my God, what recent developments are those? Tell us, Sarah.
Well, I'm so glad you asked me that question, Andrew.
Please.
So for quite a long time now, we've all been looking for this guide puzzle, and the first stage of the guide puzzle was to look for some repeated symbol that made some kind of a path that would lead us to a mysterious room. And so
Symbol?
what's that?
Somebody found the symbol?
Somebody has found the symbol, and I
Oh
mean,
my gosh, who? Is it Vince?
you would
Is it
think-
our boy? Contiki?
shocking. No.
It was a person known as Seven Sisters, also known as Germain, which is how they wanted to be credited.
I see. New
Yeah.
person.
Out of the blue.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's shocking. It has rocked the maze community to the core. Lots of controversy here. The trefoil, of course, was suggested as a guide path much earlier by Mitten, who suggested some ideas but kind of dismissed them after she herself or he himself suggested them. And after that, people were saying, oh, well, it's already been mentioned, but maybe it hadn't because people called it a clover. There was some controversy over what the clues meant.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's a trefoil? What does a trefoil look like?
Oh, great question. So a trefoil is a Trinity symbol, and is quite ancient. Apparently, I think it predates Christianity. I'm not sure. Anyway, it looks like a 3-leaf clover, except without the little stem part. That's
Oh, so it's like also it's like no, it's like a club, but without the stem.
exactly.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the clearest instance of this symbol is in room 10, on the bed. If anyone wants to just go take a look right now, yeah, you can see that symbol right there on the bed.
Beautiful.
So Germain came up with a bunch of instances of the trefoil and kind of connected them. And a lot of them actually turned out to be not really trefoils, but kind of 3-in-1 type symbols. So there were the 3 fingers and 14, and also the target with 3 rings. None of these are trefoils. However, they're sort of 3-in-1 type things. Also, White Raven has also accepted references to the trident, which is another 3-in-1 Trinity type symbol. So it seems to be any Trinity symbol.
What? But Sarah, there must be so many of those all through the maze.
That seems to be true. And in fact, we certainly haven't listed them all on the Abyss. And even White Raven himself has said, you don't really need to. Don't worry about it. I mean, we can obviously go and find them all and try and figure them out. But what has transpired is that this trail, which seems to be a kind of multi-part trail, all seems to lead into the trap, which is the part of maze from which there is no escape, and specifically into the 3 rooms forming the handle of the trap, which is rooms 22, 43, and 38. The really weird thing here is that having found that this is where the trail leads, White Raven has said you don't really need to know which of the 3 rooms is the room. You can now go and try and figure out the rest of the riddle. So this is something I want to talk about because I just want to talk about it.
Yeah, conflicting information going on in the Abyss from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's just, it seemed like we were trying to find this one room, which was going to have to be connected with the other location. We can get to that in a minute. However, now it seems like, okay, so you want to hear my theory?
Yes.
Okay, here it is. All right, my theory is that we don't need to find the room because the important part that we need to know is that it has something to do with the handle of the key, which is something that Manson may not have thought that people would get, that the trap was shaped like a key and that those 3 rooms were part of the handle. And so a trail, I'm thinking, leads to room 38, which has an actual picture of the key and the handle broken off. So I am thinking that that is the thing that we are supposed to be focusing on and connecting with this other location somewhere else in the book. That's my theory.
That's solid.
Because
Well-
how else, could it not matter what the room is?
Well, 38 is a special room. It's the one that connects the round part of the key to the end of the key.
Right.
So it is a crucial, and it's one of the only rooms, actually, I should note this, that has a direct connection to another room that's real. I'm talking about the slide, of course, which is apparent in 41. And you can see here, you can get down. So it's a direct connection in contrast to some rooms which have, say, a little description of something that happens in between rooms, like a long corridor. I think that's in room 3 at the end of the thing. Talks about a lot. Or no, sorry, that's 5. In any case, I think that's an interesting observation.
Indeed.
So here's where it's led me so far. I mean, White Raven has confirmed that his use of the word location means it's not. This other puzzle that we have to solve is not in one of the rooms, meaning, as you yourself pointed out, Andrew, it's got to be one of the front pages, which would mean the title page, the directions, or the prologue.
Yeah, I just thought the prologue, but you're right. Definitely the title page and the directions and are definitely suspects as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of those 3, and for myself, I'm focusing on the title page because there's, again, an image of a key there.
Oh, yeah.
And even like a little white glowing highlight on the part of the key that represents room 38.
Yes.
True. That's strange.
Yeah.
Which actually someone else pointed out in the abyss, so I don't want to take credit for that. Somebody else did. I don't know who, but it's there.
There's also letters on the map on the first page. I believe it's either N or Z, and then there's a Y as well. I think Y is being discussed as being an important letter because of the fact that it's 3 lines. It sort of also echoes this concept of 3 in the Trinity.
There's
Yeah.
an wolf as well. There's
Yeah, that's interesting though about the keystone. It's not actually a key there. It's just a keystone, and then the key's missing.
Right. Yeah, the Y is there, whether it's a Y or a Trinity symbol. There's an N, said maybe. There's an S, a very clear S. There's a very clear U. There's maybe a G by the mallet, an upside down G, maybe. But also, I mean, to me, like, you have the scroll, which looks like a lowercase e. You have the square, which looks like an L. You have the peg that looks like an I, and you have the compass that looks like a V, which spells evil.
I always had the compass as an A, but you're right. If you just take it as a V, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Also, unfortunately, the mallet is also really tempting to read as a T.
Right.
So you kind of have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, I've actually spent a lot of time kind of looking at this page and trying to figure something out with it because I think that there's just a lot here, but I haven't really gotten anywhere.
All of the building equipment really suggests, if we're going to ponder guide possibilities tonight as to the identity of the guide, all of these building materials really suggest Daedalus, who's been a popular
Right.
for the possibility of the guide.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Daedalus or Daedalus? I'm not sure.
I guess I'm Daedalus.
Daedalus? Fair enough.
I feel like I pronounced it Dallas, but that's only because of the Hercules cartoon.
Daedalus.
Dallas. I don't know. No idea. So anyway, I feel like, that's where we are. I have no idea what to do next, really, because I actually asked White Raven the question on the Abyss, what next? Are you going to wait until someone solves the whole thing to actually respond? Or are you going to confirm steps along the way? Are there steps along the way?
Or maybe some other anonymous person who's never posted before is suddenly gonna solve the next portion of the guide riddle.
Here's Alex the skeptic.
Yeah, my conspiracy theories. Yeah. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
I think that Seven Sisters is probably Karl Kaufman, because Karl Kaufman sounds like a sort of a German name, and Seven Sisters wanted to be identified as Germain. So there you go.
It's so obvious.
Yeah.
For heaven's sake. Oh man.
The thing about the prologue that worries me is that if the guide path is supposed to be built on this trefoil imagery, I'm afraid that the guide is just going to turn out to be Kerberos because he's three-headed. And if that's it, and the guide just says that right in the prologue, then that would be a little bit of a letdown. So that's the one that I'm hoping is not going to be the case.
And I think it won't be, because at one point, right, Raven said that the guide symbol, had nothing to do with the guide.
Well, really? Did he say that? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Is that on the identity of the guide page, or?
I think so. It's on one of the clues. On one of the clues, he said, you follow a series of clues that are not guide related, and then you get to a room that doesn't appear to be guide related, and then, something happens that hasn't happened yet.
I prefer that, yeah.
Yeah,
The only room that really seems like it's guide related is 6. You know what I mean? Because it explicitly mentions him in the picture. But does any other page really strike you as a guide page? Because it doesn't to me. I don't really see
You
it.
mean in terms of the pictures? Because of course there are ones where the text seems to give some kind of a hint. But are you just talking about the image alone?
Well, I'm talking about both. I mean, even in the text, that the hints are still sort of aloof and out there. There's no one person you can come to conclusions with using the hints in the pages the same way that you can do in the text. Well, I mean, in the pictures specifically from 6, because it's supposed to do, it doesn't tell you. Anyway, Anyway, so let's talk about. I'm not completely sold on the trefoil thing that you let. So let's talk about at least the one that I think bugs all of us. The one in 43. I think Seven Sisters said that you can get a trefoil somehow out of the slide face and the 2 cherubs on the side. If they're indeed cherubs, they look like some kind of like Bacchus's buddies with the poles, the sticks.
Yeah, I don't like it either, but I will. Let's be fair and note that Seven Sisters didn't actually claim it as a trefoil in 43. Just said 3 figures over 3 keystones.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that White Raven's attempt to create a guide image where it sort of makes a whole shape out of the figures and the keystones, not very convincing. I mean, I don't really like it. I wish that we could stick to just one shape like the trefoil and not kind of expanded out to trinities and tridents and all of these other 3 things, because as I jokingly suggested, you can get 3s pretty much in any room if you want.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a problem, because if you look at symbols of the Trinity, it includes, you've got things like tridents, you've got the trefoil, you even have an equilateral triangle, which you can find all over the place. And then, even in the rooms, again, like 14, where you have 3 fingers, it's just things in 3s, 3 and 1s.
Yeah,
even the elephant's foot thing has like 3 toes in 1 foot. I mean, that's sort of equivalent, right?
My question.
Maybe there's something. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. Since you just mentioned it, Sarah, my question. Pick 3 concentric circles and call that a sufficient. Why not pick the little flower design on the leg of the chair and leave the bullseye for what it is, which is a clue for navigating the maze? Because we get 3 concentric circles in that flower design as well. So why not just use that and leave the bullseye?
Oh, you're talking about 14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. You definitely. I remember you came up with that, right? That the target is it's a metaphor for being a target, so you don't want to go through 43 for that reason.
I don't think I came up with that one, but I do agree that it's probably the thing about it, because what White Raven originally said, and he clarified when I asked him about this on the Abyss, that he hadn't meant it completely. Just the impression that what we should do is first try to those sorted out as much as we could up front, so that only things sort of would be involved in the guide path. And then it turns out, and now this bullseye is being claimed in 14 as being a trefoil type thing, when it's already a puzzle ingredient as well. So easily leave the bullseye and just instead take that flower design on the leg of the table. You get your 3 concentric circles. You're just as happy, it seems to me. And that's some ingredient otherwise.
Nah, see, I don't buy it. I don't think this room has any guide clues at all, personally. I mean,
I don't think it's strong, but if you're going to take 3 concentric circles, you might as well take the ones that aren't.
well, listen, you know what else he said? He said the ball and the 3 fingers also counts as one too.
I like that one better in a way.
Really? How's that?
Well, if you're going to take tridents, it's sort of the same thing, right? If it's 3 in 1, and it's weird to have those 3 fingers. Like, it's kind of weird that there's only 3 fingers, and it's kind of these human fingers, you know, where you think you would see 4. I don't know.
Yeah,
I always thought that was the concept of being trapped under, like, somebody's holding you down the same way that you're in the loop, right? So it's like you're being held down until you escape it somehow.
I agree that it's a pretty nice trident shape. I don't know where this whole trident thing came from, though. Do we get any tridents other than the one in 22 and this sort of trident shape right here?
Yeah, there's 26, right? There's the one in 26, which points to 38. And it's my opinion that there's one in 11 as well.
Oh, yeah. What does that mean?
The one in 11?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think anyone's going to buy this. But so, okay, right down at the bottom of the wires.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the wires come out and they make like a kind of a heart shape there. And then there's like a little thing that looks like an E with a line right through the middle. There's a little trident there because you see the way the shadows are? I don't know.
Yeah, I see it, sort of. Everybody's trying to, like, scrutinize these wires, though, and get stuff out of it. Like, oh, it spells guide. Oh, it spells Google or something. I saw Google in it. And now White Raven is saying that there's a trefoil in the part that looks sort of like a trillium.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Sarah and I are from Ontario, and our national symbol is the trillium. You're not allowed to pick them, or they'll send you to jail for 50 years. Something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's true. It does look like the symbol of Ontario, but that's not a bad trefoil. And also,
Yeah.
the fact that the hand is pointing at it, and I think you can get the word go also. Go. So, like, go trefoils. Maybe that's a bit labored. I don't know. That's as far as I've gotten there. The part of that mess of wires, this is off topic, that bugs me, and that others have said it bugged them, is the little weird thing that looks like a flat, like a musical flat symbol, like B flat, E flat, whatever. That pointy weird bit, like, what the hell? Anyway.
Pointy weird bit.
Unrelated. It comes right out of the middle part of the trident. It like pointed in a weird way. By the way, for this episode, even though no one has asked, I'm drinking.
Yeah, like.
Sorry, Andrew? Oh, I can't hear Andrew.
No, go on. Let's see.
Okay, no. So I'm drinking a brown cow, which is Kahlua milk and a little nutmeg. And I'm drinking that because we're talking about the guide, and I am of the firm belief that the guide is the Minotaur, and nothing else will make me happy.
Nothing else matters. I have to say, this is sort of just a side note thing on the guide. I've been finding, I don't know where we're supposed to go with this. There doesn't seem to be a lot of direction on the abyss and what we're to make of this number 3 recurring. I'm seeing a pattern of myself. I'm seeing in many rooms there's stars, sun, and moons. Specifically moons that's been hit. I mentioned, but I don't think on the last Mazecast I mentioned it. There are moons in 4, the little round things on top of the what look like torches are moons. If you look at the light, they sort of look like different phases of the moon, depending where the sun is in the sky. The same thing could be said for 43 as well, those other sort of banana moons. But I think by next Mazecast I'll find a few more. But there's got to be something more to it that we don't know.
Well, Alex, Manson in the last Ask Manson discussion with White Raven apparently said something about maze time, in that different rooms represent different times of day and presumably night as well. So there might very well be something going on there. Like, obviously and I don't think White Raven either has a sort of comprehensive theory on how time works in maze, but it sounds like Manson considered it and did something deliberate. So it might be interesting to kind of figure that out.
That's pretty cool. I missed that.
Is it possible to stuff that much of a I don't want to say storyline, but you know when you flesh out a universe in a it's usually in a set of books, like you've got a serial like where you have to flesh out. This is a really cheesy example, but Twilight, right? You've got like 3 books and you flesh out different aspects of that universe, or Dungeons and Dragons, or what have you. You know what I mean? So what I guess I'm saying is it possible for Manson to have stuffed that much of his universe into this book? I'm talking like the really esoteric stuff, like time in the maze. Does time move differently in each room? What time of day is it? Like, does weather matter? Like, is there different you know what I'm talking about? It's like, did he really go that deep? Is it possible for him to have layered the book that much? I don't know. Me personally, I don't know. I don't know if I can believe in the concept of time in the maze. I know Gentile was huge on that, but me, I don't know. You'd have to come with something solid.
Yeah,
I think it's a great thing to spend 20 episodes agonizing over.
Yeah, let's do it. Gentile had the 8-hour theory, which Manson said explicitly was not.
The 8-hour theory, in that it's a theory that takes 8 hours to articulate, or what?
No, it was based on room 20 having that clock. Or no, not room 20. What room am I talking about?
13.
13. No, not 13. The other one. The Adam and Eve room. What's that one?
15. No, 30.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, 30. So room 30. Yeah, room 30. And there's that funny clock, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever hours that are represented by letters. And Dave had a whole theory about how that was represented throughout maze. Anyway, Manson said, no, that is not the case. But he did say that different rooms did represent different times of day, and it seemed to have been done deliberately. He also said something about connections between rooms, which was pretty interesting. Like, he was talking about the connection between room 27, I think. No. Oh, wish I remembered all the room numbers like this does. 37 and 10, where they can hear the door rattling.
Yeah.
Someone asked, so he asked about that, and Manson said it was something about the nature of the maze that was not fully understood by, I guess, us or the abyss or whatever.
That means it doesn't matter when writers say that. It means it's not meant to be interpreted. It's just it's what it is, and don't try to like. Ray Bradbury said this a lot too. When people would hassle him, my dad said that he had a few sit downs with Ray Bradbury, like things back in the day. And Ray Bradbury said the same thing when people tried to pry too much. Oh, well, what do you think of this? How do you explain this? Like, hecklers basically. And he would say, oh, well, that's just scientific. I don't want to go into it. And that would be sort of just a a way to tell him to shut up politely, so to speak, or dismiss them.
He was just putting him off. You think he was just putting us off?
I think so. I don't see why he should reveal anything, even if he didn't.
Oh, it's interesting. I don't know. It's kind of fun to think it might mean something that we haven't discovered, though.
As I said, I'm a pessimist. Let's hope for the best, though.
Yeah, you never know.
Um,
All right. Does anyone else have any other theories? I mean, I don't know. Does it make sense for people to try to look for all the trefoils on the abyss, or is that a waste of time? Any thoughts on that? Or
Well, it does something. If there's a particular thing that would really sell me on the whole trefoil plot thread, which is that I think one of the complaints about this whole revelation has been that I think that we were all kind of expecting, when he described sort of a guide path, I think that we were all expecting sort of a point A to point B kind of a thing, and instead we're getting this weird sort of all over the place, like converging on one location but coming from many different places. And one thing that I think would really clinch it for me is that if you look at the image that he has of the, if you look on the identity of the guide page at the map that he has, we have trefoils that are leading into 43. We have trefoils leading into 38. What I would really love to see would be one or two trefoil rooms leading into 22, because I feel like the nature of the symbol seems to demand the symmetry of having ways to get into all three of these rooms on this same trefoil path. So if we had something that linked into 22 that had a trefoil in it, that is to say, if we could find a trefoil in like 2 or 5 or 42, which are rooms that you can get into 22 from but not get back. I would think that'd be really cool, and then it would have all three directions.
okay, so here the 1 and 2 Alex actually pointed out, which is is there were those 3 circular shields that are really prominent. They're not arranged in a trefoil formation, but it is 3 shields. That's in 2.
So,
Oh wait, is that 5? Yeah, no, that's in 2.
yeah.
Yeah, 2 is also Sun, Moon, and Star authorized. It's got all 3.
Yes, it's true. And then 42, I actually think, like, if we're going to accept tridents and things, then the 3 and 1 of the elephant split could be another one. It's 3 arches in 1 foot.
Well, yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, that's hard to protest. I mean, if you're gonna open it up that much, then yeah, that becomes difficult to protest for sure.
Right.
You could even say that 3 could easily try to in 5 if you really want to open up tridents that much.
Where's 5? Let's see.
Well,
You know what I saw in 5? If you look in 5, this is maybe totally ridiculous, but it has always bugged me. There's a little wrinkle in the curtain under door 20. Although, of course, this leads to door 20, not 22, but still. There's 3 little lines coming out of it, which is pretty weird. Maybe it could just be done for shadow.
Oh, I don't know. That might not be anything. I'm sorry. So
Maybe not. Okay, fair enough. There is the easel, though.
there's kind of a triangular wrinkle in the trail leading up to 22.
Yeah,
Right toward the.
true.
Oh my God! Triangles 3. That's it. We got it.
Yeah, well, and if we're accepting the easel, like, it's 3 points leading into 1. Okay, so I have something to talk about here. Okay, so right now, it seems like room 35 is not really necessary or related to this guide puzzle at all, and therefore, what? WTF.
the only thing I can say is it is the main image on his guide page on the Abyss, so I wouldn't discount it too quickly. It does, after all. I mean, I never really liked the idea. He did say that one of the trefoils, or the legend in room 6 was the 3 stones that lead up to the broken ladder. But let me point out that there's actually 4 stones that lead up to there. So to use that would be quite remiss to miss that one damn stone that's right next to it. But I must also say that 35, if you want to go down that path, personally I don't. but I think the pillows look very reminiscent of those rocks in 6. They're the same shape and size roughly.
Okay,
So I don't know.
go ahead.
Oh, I guess they're
But that would just make it another trefoil, right? And it seems like there's something. I mean, okay, so here's my guess. I think White Raven just picked this image for the guide page because it looks like a covered face. It's like it looks like someone whose identity is hidden. I think 30.
way.
What?
And he was pointing the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, and I think the 35 is something we have to solve in relation to 33 and doesn't have anything to do with the guide puzzle at all. Or maybe another page. I don't know. Like he said it was unusual. He said it was an unusual room. But anyway, if it's just a trefoil, like that seems like nothing for this room that is so crazy weird and full of all this weird imagery that seems to beg for an explanation.
Yeah, I agree.
Remember, there's no purpose for these rooms other than to take you to the next room. There's only one door, so
Yeah,
these rooms must serve some other purpose.
right. 6 and 35.
I mean, up to now, I don't think we've solved either of them. We have 0 star. In my opinion, we have 0 stars on both of these rooms. But not because they don't point to the next day, because in my opinion, stars are for the whole book, not just for room solves, but for, full enlightenment in terms of like the guide and the universe and everything.
Yeah. So I feel like that's a challenge also that's still out there is figuring it out. What 35 is supposed to be.
For sure.
I had no ideas anymore. I had ideas, but none of them worked. Does anyone have anything else they want to talk about?
I just think, now that I'm thinking about it, I think that the trap must be intrinsically connected with the guide because of the fact that you see this key repeating throughout the maze. It's in several rooms, broken in one, appearing in others. I mean, it's on the first page.
Well, where is it? Where is it? It's on the title page. It's in 33. It's in 38. Is it anywhere else?
Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe those are the only spots.
But I think no. But I'm glad you brought it up because I think that's important. And I was actually reading 33 the other day, and White Raven said something about the key, which someone was talking about, and he said, "Oh, the key is part of something else, and maybe doing double duty." That's exactly what he said.
Well, you can also consider keyholes too, because keyholes only appear in certain, like in 11, there's a bunch of keyholes. Most rooms don't have keyholes at all. 15 definitely does. It doesn't have a doorknob in some cases. Anyway, I think I'm digressing here, but
just to give you one more, Alex, there is a key in 29 as well. It's one of the objects that you have to turn.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right on. That's cool.
That's true.
That's good to know.
Anyway, I just also wanted to say I find it interesting that we're now gravitating toward thinking that the trap indicates the identity of the guide, because I remember for a time we were speculating that the loop is what you have to do to the loop is what contains clues to the identity of the guide, but now it seems to be moving away from that.
Well, the other thing too,
it's been confirmed, and I mean, I don't. Yeah, and it kind of makes sense, right? Because if you're going to figure out who the guide is, he's not going to want you to figure that out until you're trapped anyway, right?
Sure. Yeah, it does.
The context of a story, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at the kitty!
Yeah. Not a small black cat, but he'll do.
Aw, so nice. Are you wearing the same shirt?
No, it's similar though. Okay, he doesn't want to be here. No, but Andrew, I thought that was that was an interesting suggestion you brought up about 22 being the sort of the center, because of the shape of the doors are very symmetrical. I think there's something we haven't discovered yet.
My observation, but thank you. I'll take it. I'll take the credit for that. That wasn't my observation.
Well, which one was it? Which room did you say was 38?
I don't think I said anything of the sort, but I'm happy to soak up all of the credit and acclaim for whatever you like.
You said it in this episode. You said it in like 20 minutes ago or something. But there's one other thing that I don't think we've discovered what it is, and I think Hidden Mystery brought this up, but I brought it up way before him, and that is not to take credit for any of it. I'm sure everybody's seen it. Is that sort of figure in 22 in the middle? It sort of forms a man. Although the other one sort of formed people, that was sort of looks more defined. But like White Raven was saying, the things that are not to do with I think I basically what I'm saying in a nutshell is I think that's also a guide clue because it serves no other purpose. You're already in the trap, and it doesn't seem to fit in with the Rebus puzzles on the wall.
I'm sorry, the figure that suggests a man. I'm not sure who you're talking about.
In 22, the one that's right. If you look straight ahead, it looks like a guy with a mustache. Like the top part of the chandelier is his mustache in the head. You follow what I'm saying? Hold on, let me pull it. I don't know if I have it here.
Mhm.
So this right here. So that's his head, right? This is the guy's head. These are his arms, and then these are his legs. And so like all the other curtains are open, then his legs are like these curtains are closed, forming a set of legs.
Oh.
You see what I mean? And he's got a mustache here, but it's like it's very abstract. But I was just anyway, I just thought it was an interesting idea paired with the fact that you or maybe somebody else said that this looks like the hub of the key, even though it's not. It's like another hub of the key, I guess, is it? Let's see. No, not really. But it's part of the handle of the key. Anyway, I was sort of brainstorming here. The other thing that I noticed is that there are chess pieces located in certain rooms. I'm trying to find the connection. There's one in 7. There's one in 22. There's
20.
Yeah, there's a place where there are chess pieces, but they don't seem to have any relevant connections.
I made a list of those at one point, but yeah, now I kind of think it's a red herring.
What, the chess pieces?
Yeah.
In 7?
Oh, in 7, it's on the top of the lamp. It's a queen piece. It looks like either queen rather than a king. Got the little thing on the top. If you can squint and look at that, I have a chess piece. The queen piece looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the red herring.
I think it's I don't know. I made a huge list at one point, and there are quite a few of them, but it doesn't seem to do anything. And I've tried a few things. I mean, 20, it's begging to be interpreted as to rook, but I don't know. What do you do with it? Yeah.
I think I liked my life better when I was just trying to find out what the path was.
Now we're so lost.
Yeah, we're so deep in, we can't go back, but we give up. There is no escape. It's just
we're in the trap now. We're really in the trap.
We are in the trap. We're gonna find stuff out in the trap without going to 24 because that's where I feel like I am. I'm in the dark.
As long as there's average service, I'm okay. Stay here. You'd be in 22.
When I found out that we had converged onto 22, 43, and 38, I got excited about the possibility that maybe the god was supposed to be Poseidon.
Oh,
so you got the trident in 22, you got the big angry bearded face in 43, and you got the ionic columns in 38. But since the guide has already been suggested, so to speak, and it's already one of the people who's already been suggested, I guess there goes my Poseidon theory, but I got briefly excited over it.
Well, no, I mean, he said that the guide had already been suggested.
Right, and so it's one of those people in that list that we've already...
Was Poseidon not in that list?
Poseidon's not in that list, no.
Oh, I thought he had been mentioned.
No, I'm afraid not.
Okay, so something in 22 this is again, like I keep coming back to 33 and 35. I'm obsessed with those rooms. So look at the trident and its shadow. It forms a 33. I don't know. And then on the directions page, I don't know if this is another trefoil thing or a 33 thing, but those ribbons make pretty good threes.
So I don't know. I still have a feeling that 33 is the weak link here. I like you, Sarah, also agree with 33. I keep coming back to it because 35 goes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think either we have to revisit it because the icons on top of the doors mean something other than what we originally thought, which was the turned objects or the sort of objects that are pointing downwards are incorrect. Or some shit like that. I can't remember what it was specific. Oh, there's a key in this room too. I missed that.
Yeah, she mentioned that.
Oh,
That's
what about 35? Is there a key at 35?
And as I said, another symbol of the Trinity is equilateral triangles, which there they are. There's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. Huh. See, deeper and deeper we go.
I know. But the annoying thing is it doesn't really fit into White Raven's explanation of where the guide puzzle is. I mean, it's supposed to be...
Oh, yeah, because his explanation made so much sense when we originally found out that it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got to say it. We got to say it on here, people. We got to talk about what was it that he said that was sort of misleading because he didn't phrase it quite properly, or like he used the wrong word or something. He said that there was, oh yeah, the guide, you guys already mentioned it, the fact there's a guide path, but it wasn't a path in the literal sense. It was a connection of rooms through symbology rather than connectivity.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably... It would have been hard for him to describe the way it was. They're really giving a lot of away, maybe.
Yeah.
It is. It's not how I envision it. I envision, an orderly set of rooms leading to a room that's sort of clearly the end of that path. And instead, it seems to be a whole bunch of different trails converging on this one space, which is quite different from what I expected. But there it is. And now, the amusing thing is we've spent so much time trying to find this trail in agony and tears, but that was apparently the easy part. And now I get to figure out this puzzle that is harder than that.
Well, we don't even really know what all these rooms are. I mean, the Seven Sisters said, well, not just Seven Sisters. I think White Raven 2 made a list of supposed trefoils, but I mean, are we supposed to be using all of them? Is that what we're meant to do? White Raven, help us out. We know where you're watching this, so.
He said explicitly that it didn't matter. Now that we found where it's all leading, it doesn't matter. I mean, I think it could be something for us to do to make us feel like we're doing something, but he said it doesn't.
I've said at various times that once we had the solution to the guide puzzle, we would have this ironclad sense that we had done everything right up to that point. And it would really confirm everything. And
right.
So, there's an understandable feeling that it's kind of a cop-out to now say, well, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about this and this and this. Just move.
Well, but he's talking about the puzzle that we're now trying to solve. He's not talking about the trail there. The trail is just to lead us to those three rooms or this one room.
Well, okay, here's my theory. Here's what I think it is. All these threes, they lead you to room 3, and in room 3, on the right wall, there's a man and a son. Manson. Manson is the guy. He's on page 3, and all this 3 shit goes to page 3.
There's a sun and a moon, and there's Sphinx, which was a star of Greek mythology. So you got your sun and moon and star. There you go.
Oh man. I don't know. That's a definite trefoil, though, there in 3. I think that one's already been mentioned.
Right, yeah, that has been mentioned and not really actually associated. People have thrown that out as a pretty clear-looking trefoil that doesn't seem to fit in with...
Is it on the list? Is it currently on the list?
I don't think so, because how do you even...
Yeah, it is. But I don't even think it's necessarily trefoils. Like, I think at this point, we're just talking about the concept of 3. Because I'm not willing to accept the fact that some of these things are considered trefoils or not. They're just three objects that are next to each other. Well, in the case of three, but in many cases, in many of these rooms, it's just three objects that are next to each other. Look at 6. If he really wants to take those 3 blocks, they're not touching, they're not round. So let's just say the concept of 3 instead of trying to bend the, time and space to fit what this guy's telling us. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Because it's true, 3 does show up a lot and everywhere, but trefoil thing, I don't know. I'm not convinced about trefoils.
So this is again kind of unrelated. There's a thing on the Abyss, which is on the same page as the page where he had the picture of the trefoil. And that page is the puzzle influences Gothic architecture. And he has included a picture of Solomon's Temple superimposed over Notre Dame. The floor plans, like from above. And it looks exactly like the front gate. Meaning what? I don't know. But it's there. It's kind of interesting if people want to go look at it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And he doesn't really explain why it's there. Like, it's just sort of there. Like, he's talking in general about Gothic architecture and symbolism in Gothic architecture, but like the trefoils, it's just sort of there. He doesn't really explain it. So it makes me wonder if it's another. Maybe indicating the prologue. I don't know. But I will say I'm happy to have that explanation for Kerberos because it always seemed like a total non sequitur. And now it just seems like a hint to look for three-in-one items. Alex just gave this look of disgust.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold back here for the whole episode.
You're gonna have to do your own episode with the echo on, and you just let rip.
The echo. I don't know. It might be. I'm hoping it's reasonable.
I have faith. I still have faith. Our minds can be blown until it's proven otherwise.
You sound godly all of a sudden.
I also have a little bit of me is like sort of angsty that if we do discover this, then I'm gonna feel like I'm done with this book and I don't want to be done with this book.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's like if it's a cheesy solution, then all the worse.
I don't feel like I'm ever gonna be done with this book. I feel like I might put it down for a while after, but I don't know. We'll be done with it.
It's a keeper.
Maybe then we can all start the letter writing campaign to Manson to get on the seat.
Oh yeah.
And then it'll be like 10 more years of Mazecast.
Perfect.
All right, guys, what do you think? Anything more?
I think here's what we should do for the sequel. We can each guess one puzzle for one room. Like each of us will do one of the room puzzles, and then we'll all just sit there for the entire season of the show. We'll just sit there and stare at each other and try to convince each other to spill the beans on the puzzles that we can.
Sounds great. I'm down.
Fascinating viewing.
The guy whose puzzle is cracked gets eliminated Survivor style, and they don't get to come to the show.
They'll hire people to come to your house, just direct you away from the screen.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I guess, are we done?
I think that's all I got for now.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, that's another episode of Mazecast. We're gonna come back maybe next week with Brent. He's promised us room 17 and onwards, so we're gonna do that. Sarah might have an episode on the artist Gory coming up, We'll see if she can figure out iMovie.
Wow.
Yeah. I might come up with another episode, either of Doré, who doesn't have a lot to do with Manson stylistically, I think, but he's still interesting. Or maybe who else is I gonna do? Oh shit, I can't remember. But anyway, until next time.